Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Brand Builders Podcast. My name is Emmanuel, and today I'm joined by none other than
Freddie.
How you doing, Freddie?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm alright, thank you very much. I'm alright. But yeah, tell us a bit about yourself. What's your role? What are you up to?
Yeah, so I'm a brand advocacy consultant at Duel. So I work with new brands, kind of scoping out their ambassador and customer advocacy programs, taking them through that whole process of design all the way through to launch, and then kind of looking after the strategy of the programs from there once they've launched.
Okay, so are you a Bob the Builder of the brand advocacy program? Are you almost like Bob the architect, like the designer in the background?
I would
Bob
say
the relationship manager.
I would say the risk of sounding too, I'd say Bob the architect maybe.
Bob the architect.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of from a higher level, looking at the strategy and the design. I spent a long time working on the day-to-day of the programs, which was really useful, kind of, working on different seasonal promotions and initiatives that can be done within a program, and seeing how they work on a micro level. And now, but now I'm definitely more sort of zoomed out, looking at the longer term strategy.
Okay, nice. I feel like that makes you perfect for the topic of today.
Well, let's hope so.
Because today we're going to be talking about referrals and affiliates, right?
Yeah.
They seem like components of a program or of something that you're going to do as a brand if you want to spark stuff. But I'll be honest, I have a lot to learn, and that's why I brought you on, right?
Well, so do I. We always do.
Yeah, we always do. So my first question is going to be like, but what the hell is like a referral? What is an affiliate? And what is the difference?
Okay, yeah, it's a good question. So, I mean, what is a referral? I mean, it's at a very simple level. It's, telling a friend about a product or a brand that you love and getting them to, making them aware of that brand or product. And that leads to a purchase on their part. So that's, when was the last time you recommended something to a friend? It doesn't have to be an online brand. I mean, we do it all the time, right?
Yeah, it's true. I'm trying to think. I have this app called Lucky Trip. And basically you kind of type in, you put in like your budget on a scale.
Yeah.
Like £250, £500. And then look at me referring you now. But yeah, you click on it and it basically finds your flights, a hotel, and like a thing to do all within that budget, and then they can like sort it out for you.
Yeah.
So yeah. So have I just referred you?
Yeah, I guess you have. Well, we'll see. I'm definitely going to check this out, and maybe it'll lead to a nice little holiday. But yeah, that's a great example of a referral. Now, in terms of how it works for brands, obviously in the online D2C space, this is all like electronic now, and probably what you're most used to is referral codes, and that would be something that you would, share on social media, sure, but also within your kind of tighter networks. They could be in WhatsApp groups, that could be at work, could be on Slack chats at work, or wherever you have a tight community of people who you trust, right? Because that's kind of the spirit of referrals. We're all navigating this very saturated space where there's a new brand offering you, or 10 new brands offering you the same thing all the time, and you got to figure out what's going to be best, whether that's clothes, what's going to last the longest, what's actually going to fit you well, all of that stuff. And if that comes from an authentic experience from a friend or a colleague or someone you trust, that holds a lot more weight than, say, just looking at a Facebook ad or looking at an ad on YouTube or something like that.
There's almost a bit of trust and like credibility fused into that.
Yeah.
Into a referral that you can't get from a brand putting something in front of your face.
Exactly. I mean, kind of the way we're wired, I think it takes a lot to really shout about a positive experience you've had with someone. We love complaining. We're not shy about sharing negative experiences. But what that means is that if a friend or someone you trust comes to you with a really positive experience with a product or a brand, that's hugely powerful. They've really had a really good experience with that to be compelled to share that with you.
So essentially, a referral is somebody telling somebody about your brand, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so I understand what a referral is.
Yeah.
So what is an affiliate?
So an affiliate, it's slightly different. An affiliate is a person who has a more formal relationship with a brand. So most brands who have a referral program, it will be, you'll go onto their e-commerce sites, you might see a pop-up that says, give 10% off and receive £10 for every referral you make. Now, that's open to the entire customer base. I mean, the fact that you see that pop up as soon as you log onto their site, you may never have even bought from that brand before. An affiliate is someone who, is closer to this idea of a brand ambassador. So they'll have a relationship with the brand and they'll usually get some sort of commission percentage on sales. And there usually isn't a kind of financial incentive to the people who use their affiliate link. It's usually mediated through links that are shared in social media bios and that kind of thing. So it's less about, sharing codes in those high trust networks, like, in WhatsApp groups, at work, in circles of friends. And it's more about kind of a wider brand awareness piece through someone who has a larger social network and is more like a beacon atop that network as opposed to a tight circle.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So what you're saying is when Uber first came out and they were offering me, £10 off every time I shared.
Yeah.
That I was part of a referral program, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
It's giving me pyramid scheme vibes. No, I'm joking. But that makes a lot of sense. So affiliates have a more formal relationship, but referral programs can be offered to almost anybody at any time.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny you mention that pyramid scheme vibes on the surface of that, and certainly when it's done badly, that's what it looks like. But actually, if you think about it, there's been a fair bit of research that shows that customers who are referred in have a much higher lifetime value with the brand than normal customers who come to the brand organically.
So, I now know what a referral is and an affiliate is. Why have a referral program? Why do brands do that?
Yeah, it's a good question. So, I mean, referral programs are they are a fact of the D2C space now. So every brand is doing them. So there is a sense that if you're not doing it, you're kind of missing a trick there. Well, that doesn't really answer the question as to why you would do it. I mean, to answer that, I think you've got to go back to why you set up a brand in the first place. I mean, the brands who are set up for the right reasons, they're set up because they have a product or something to offer that they feel is really, really going to improve the lives of everyone who uses it, right? Or anyone who comes into contact with it. So when your customers have a really great experience with your product or your brand, you want to give them a platform to shout about that as loud as they can and make as many people as possible aware of that, so you can bring those people into your brand and improve their lives with your product too. So that's at a very basic level why you would have a referral program. There's kind of two sides to it. So the first is that kind of brand awareness, customer acquisition piece. But the second is, that lifetime value piece. Once customers are in through that referral program, now is the chance for you to really give them that wow experience that your brand is built on. So you can't really have one without the other. It's about making people aware of everything you have to offer, but then really, really delivering it.
Okay, so almost like referral programs being a platform for customers that already like what you do and incentivize them to spread it more.
Exactly.
Right, and then it gets people through the door, and then your product should do the rest in theory.
Yeah.
Okay, like advocates in a sense. And then an affiliate program.
Yeah, so affiliates are people who have a more formal relationship with the brand. Get some commission incentive on sales that they generate through their link. It's kind of they're both platforms for spreading that brand awareness, but just done in a slightly different way to suit the different personas who interact with your brand. So referrals is more around everyday customers sharing something in their high trust, tight networks. Affiliates is, they have a looser network. You'd probably think of Instagram or TikTok and the followers they have. These people they're not chatting every day at work like you and I are, or they're not, they don't see each other every evening like you would in a sports team or even with your family at home. But they might have several thousand or several 100,000 followers on a social media platform who look to them as sort of a high trust, high authority figure. So it's just a slightly different mechanism of giving them the platform to spread that brand awareness and give as many people as possible a chance to interact with your brand. But it's still about giving that platform to people to spread those positive stories and experiences of your brand and spread the awareness.
Okay, so should every brand have a program then?
So I think the question is more about how it should be set up.
Okay.
Than should you have one or should you not. I think the programs that really don't work are the ones that are set up to completely rely on financial incentives, just really transactional programs like force a pop-up in everyone's face within 5 seconds of visiting your website. It's like £10 for every customer. I think they do have to be built around the product and the brand and the experience and all of that value that you're offering. First of all, to the customer who's going to give the referral, because it's a pretty big and pretty valuable action to take to refer a brand. It's not. It takes time, right? And we're all very busy people and have very, very little patience, especially when it comes to being online.
Yeah, and I don't always want to attach my name to a brand as well.
Yeah.
If I'm shouting, use my code. I actually hope if you're going to use this code, what you'll get, it needs to be.
Yeah, good. Right. It better be something. It better be something that you believe in.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that those, you have to think very carefully as a brand. What's our product? What's the experience that we want to offer? What's the experience that we want to allow customers or referrers to go through as they are referring their friends, and design it to sort of meet those needs in a very, very precise way.
So if I was a brand leader out there, there's a time and a place for referral programs.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's a time and a place for affiliate programs.
Yeah, I mean, they're just targeted at slightly different groups of people.
Okay, cool.
I would say with affiliates, the main concern there is actually building an authentic relationship with these affiliates. What you don't want to do is rent space on Instagram or rent space on TikTok. Pay people for temporary visibility on their feed.
I like this product.
Exactly, because it'll be your brand this week, and next week it'll be your competitor, or it will be a brand that's not your competitor but has completely different values, and it's really bad PR for you to have been there the week before.
That makes so much sense. Okay, I now know what a referrer is, what an affiliate is, the difference between the two. I also know why you should have one of the programs. I kind of want to know what happens when the program goes left, or something that brands should not be doing. So tell me a bit about that. Yeah,
sure. So I mean, the worst referral programs are those completely transactional ones. And what happens is you might get a few new sales in. Probably works quite well at the start. You acquire new customers. Obviously, your margins aren't great because you're having to discount as kind of the bribe to get those new customers in, especially when the referrers aren't necessarily people who just believe in the product. They're just kind of there for the kickback.
I can think of an example. I'm not going to name names.
All right, we'll keep this all anonymous. It's expensive for the brand to acquire new customers that way, and they have a really poor lifetime value because if you have to bribe people to refer, then it means that you haven't put the product and the experience of the brand at the heart of everything you're doing. They have a bad experience and they don't come back. So it's a very expensive way to acquire customers. The other thing that you do, which is really damaging in the long term, is damage that brand integrity. If you're offering discounts all the time on referrals, your customer base will get used to discounts, and it's much harder to take that away than it is to introduce it carefully sort of at a later date. So you're going to be stuck in this discounting culture, and you're always going to have to offer, a financial incentive, because that's what your customers expect. And that's going to slowly have to creep up. So not only is it an expensive way of acquiring customers, it actually gets more expensive the more you do it.
I can think of another example. It's the same example. I remember just being shocked when they took away the discount.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how did you feel? You're outraged.
Yeah,
right?
I was outraged. I switched to my next app instead
Okay.
app here, but I definitely just changed because, I got used to a certain lifestyle. I expected a certain thing, and like you said, like you made a really good point. At the core, wasn't necessarily the user experience or what that brand embodied. It was like, oh, do this, it's going to be cheap, or use this code. It wasn't like, here we are and here's what we want to do, and because we believe in it so much, try this, you know what I mean, and then work from there. It was just financial incentive. You take the financial incentive away, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah. Exactly.
Great. So that's referral programs. Now I kind of want to know a bad example of an affiliate program. What's something brands shouldn't be doing?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it comes down to those same principles. Are you putting the product and the experience at the heart of everything you do in your marketing? And if you're not, what that looks like on the affiliate side is, renting space on Instagram, kind of not bribing someone to tell a close friend or a colleague about it, but, bribing someone to shout on Instagram that they love your product. And so it's, again, just having a financial incentive driving that person to share your product. The types of affiliates who work with brands who have those affiliate programs, they have amassed lots of followers for a number of different reasons. The engagement on their profiles probably isn't as high as those who have, created these kind of, ground up Instagram accounts that are based on, some sort of cool lifestyle stuff that they're doing, who they are as a person, and their values and their interests are all really reflected through that, and reflected in the partnerships and collabs that they do with brands. So those affiliate programs are always going to be better, because the follower base is going to look at that person as a figure of trust and authority. When it's when it's kind of a lower quality sort of affiliate who's just amassed loads of followers, probably got loads of bots in there as well. You're not going to drive much authentic. First of all, traffic clicks through to your site, but secondly, even once people get there, that trust and that authority isn't as baked into that kind of affiliate as it is to those who have tight relationships with brands that reflect their values and reflect their followers' values as well. You kind of look at the affiliate as almost someone who represents those followers and those people who engage with them.
This is fascinating, Freddie. And we're going to bring it to a close soon. But what's interesting is I came into this conversation thinking about referral and affiliate programs as means to ends, right? As tools, as ways in which brands can extend their arms into their customer base. But what I'm seeing is how important trust is.
Absolutely.
Stuff you mentioned, you used the word bribe once or twice now, and it's bribery obviously erodes trust. It's let me just pull you in deceptively. You don't know what you're getting into, but you see the deal, go for it. But when trust is involved, and you really believe in the people that you're the people referring and the affiliates, and you believe in what your brand stands for, that carries so much more weight and means that you're properly utilizing these tools. So it's not really a question, just fascinating.
No, definitely. I mean, ultimately, the brand that has the best product is going to have the best referrals, because people will be raring for a platform to shout about it. So that has to come first. It can't be the case that you shove the platform down the customer's throat and then the product's kind of snuck in.
People find out. People review products now. People.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this yourself from brands that you shop from or apps that you use. You know, it doesn't take much to kind of break that trust, and once it's gone, it's impossible to get back. Yeah.
Okay, so just to finalize then, if you know, this is for free now. This is free game you guys are about to get. If you were walking a brand through the process as you do in your role, what would be like your advice to them when it comes to programs and like building a referral or affiliate program? What kind of steps?
Yeah, sure. So, let's stress everything we've talked about first, getting that product and that experience really there at the heart. We're lucky enough that the brands we speak to at Duel, they come to us because they have these values and they've kind of been built from the ground up in this integral way. So most of the brands I speak to already have that. And then I would think carefully about, if you run a brand well, quite intimately what your customers want and what incentivizes them. So, thinking about the incentives that you want to attach to a referral scheme, it's really important to empower your customers to have that journey that they want in the process of referring their friends.
Brands like nowadays, like we associate who we are with the brand we support, right? If I'm a believer in like certain athleisure, like I wear that brand because I think it aligns with who I am. So I don't want to now, every time I tell someone about something, they're gonna look and think, oh, you like this brand, I associate this brand with this, or I associate that brand with you. So
it's a reputational thing, isn't it?
It's all about reputation and how you pass on that, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's a very personal thing for you to make the effort to pass on. So I think when brands are designing their referral schemes, they've really got to think carefully about, allowing their customer to sort of own that or have the experience that they want to have while they're referring their customers. So
again, it goes back to trust. It's your brand, but if the customers are your customers, trust them with your brand, trust them to speak about your brand and design your program in a way that allows them to fully embody what your brand and what they.
Yeah, I mean, you've built the brand for them, so if you've done it right, there's actually no one who's better positioned to speak about the brand than they are. So I think it's really important when you're setting up a referral scheme to make sure that you give those customers the experience that they want to have while they're referring their friends and the people in their network. So think carefully about the incentives on either side of the referral. I think most brands focus too much on, okay, what are we giving these customers to go and shout about referrals, because we need to incentivize them as much as possible to spread this message as far as they can, so we get as many new customers in as we can. I would say don't underestimate how much people are incentivized by what they can give. I think brands are a bit too cynical in that sense, and there's been a lot of research into this as well, that actually people prefer being able to offer their friends a bigger incentive, whatever that is, a discount or a free product, than actually get a bigger reward themselves. So definitely think about, giving being more important than getting. I think that's a key marker of the successful referral programs I've seen. And the other thing is, bring it back to that product. We've kept talking about that during this conversation. Bring it back to that product. So don't just offer sort of an arbitrary 10% and £10. 10% is if you have healthy margins, it's not too expensive. It sounds like a nice discount you're giving to a new customer. But I would think, okay, how far along the purchasing journey, how much does that help me buy this core product, which as a brand we've made because we believe is going to help all of these people's lives, right? How much closer does that bring me to getting a product? Because you want people to be referred in and new customers to come into your brand because they want that product, and that product's going to change their lives. So I'd think carefully about the price point of your product and tailoring those referrals to just getting people close enough so they can actually get that product in their hands, rather than get a cheap deal or just get something that's a bit of a bargain.
The switching that thinking from short term, getting the door, to really long term, I believe in my product.
Exactly.
Like, you'll believe in my product. So let's design these programs to really reflect that in the long term.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, when you make a success of this in the long term, you want to completely close that loop. So those new customers who are brought in, not only are they going to be long-term customers, but we're going to empower them to refer their friends.
Like, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Once a discount changes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love that, Freddie. Thank you for talking to me. I really enjoyed that. Have you got any last minute gems or anything you want to wish our brand builders?
No, I would just say, you know, the other thing, just thinking about referrals, is that not everything has to be about purchasing. Not everything even has to be financial. I mean, one of the best sort of referral schemes I've seen was Harry's Razors kind of pre-launch scheme. They had this referral program where they were just, you know, they were offering incentives for people to refer people into the brand, but the brand hadn't launched yet. So all they were going for was email signups.
Oh, wow.
Right? So that's just an example of how referrals can be used really cleverly across other sort of digital marketing initiatives, whether that's a new brand launch or a new product launch. But, you know, the action from the person being referred doesn't always have to be a purchase, right? It can be an email sign up. It can be getting them to give you some sort of key piece of data or piece of information. Just a way that brings them close to your brand and brings them in. But I think it's reflective of that underlying sort of message, is that bring it away from the transactional. It's not about giving discounts and getting bargains and that kind of thing. It's about bringing people into the brand so we can give them a really great experience.
Affiliate means to, you know, be connected to, and it's all about bringing closer, right? And referring is just bringing closer, not necessarily ending in purchase, but just what allows you to feel as connected to my cause or product as possible.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. Yeah, it's about relationships.
It's about relationships. The whole world's about relationships. That's the answer to like everything, isn't it? No, that's really useful, and I feel like I've come away thinking of, you know, the two words is really disconnected and like functional, but really and truly, how you design that program is a reflection of what you believe in your product and like what you believe in as part of being your brand.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, if you really back something, you have to really back it to then ask other people to do that. You know. Yeah.
Cool. All right, well, thank you so much, Freddie.
No worries.
We hope you guys enjoyed that, and stay tuned for everything else that we've got coming, because we have loads of brand building tips coming all the time.